Hey everybody, Peter with Springtree Media Group. Going to do a little training session. We've been installing our own spatial pendants in a lot of churches and some commercial facilities, and it's a little bit more of a generic fixture, so I'm going to walk you through how we've done it, and honestly with great success. So the spatial fixture is a house lighting inside PVC. The PVC is how we keep the cost down. The fixture has an 80-degree lens, phenomenal coverage, no hot spots. Another nice thing, very, very affordable. I'm going to show you a little later in the segment, competing fixture, extremely heavy, cumbersome, $1,500 each. All right, you have a yoke inside. It does not include the eye bolt, but if you're hanging it with a chain and not a threaded rod, just get an eye bolt. We can provide those as well. And it's as simple as attaching, if you have an I-beam within the church, beam clamp, chain. We like to use a closable chain link, and you have your fixture hung. Of course, if you don't have an I-beam, you have a purlum, you cannot use a beam clamp on a purlum. There are purlum clamps, don't recommend it, just drill through. Put an eye bolt in, hang it with a chain. You can also drill through, use threaded rod, bring it down. All right, now this is just the hanging. You need to get power and DMX control into it. One of the nice things right here, if you look inside, you have a Phoenix connector. We're just going to pull it right out. Phoenix connector is just a screw terminal, lets you wire it in. We're going to assume that this fixture is not the first one in line, but somewhere midpoint. So into the same Phoenix connector, we're going to bring DMX in and out. You've probably heard that DMX cannot be wide, and that is correct. You can't be taking DMX without an isolated splitter in two complete directions. But at a fixture, there is no problem splitting it. In fact, most fixtures that you get, whether Chauvet, Lation, all the major brands, if you look inside, you'll notice that the in and out are just soldered in parallel. There's nothing fancy or no electronics going on. So I'm going to quickly make up this Phoenix connector, and then I'll show you how we clean it up in the system. So anything I say related to power, always consult an electrician and do everything to code, be safe. Okay? In this case, our fixtures do not include the power cord. They do include a female and a male power con. One nice thing is, let's say you have your electrician bring power to a junction box that's near one fixture. You can plug that in. We're going to power up this first one, bring it into a junction box. One nice thing also about the programming on these lights, once you make the light hot, as long as it's not getting DMX, it will turn on. So it's great for new construction. As you're adding lights, you're not in the dark. So now I have power. If this was hot, the light would be on right now. I've got DMX in and out. What we then do, let's say you don't have power, you have another 5 lights on this beam. You can make up power cords going along your beams, your purlums, into your next light. Now, rule, again, consult your electricians, but you're not allowed to take this up into an enclosed ceiling. You can't penetrate drywall with an SO cable, and you can't go above a drop ceiling. This is only good if it's an open design, or if you don't care that it's visible under your ceiling. Otherwise, you're going to have junction boxes or outlets into your ceiling to meet code. When you're using SO cable, be sure, especially if you're daisy chaining lights, you use at least a 14 gauge, a 14.3 grounded cable. If you're only going to a dedicated junction box, 16.3 is adequate. All right, so now, once it's all hooked up, we clean this up. One of the nice things about this barrel design is it lets you conceal all of the connections within the box. Of course, you got DMX coming from one direction, and you have the other DMX continuing on to your next light. What might look a little rudimentary here, Once it's hung up high, it looks amazing. Usually we'll come back, touch up the chain, touch up the fixture as necessary as well. The fixture we use it's just called Leak Seal by Rust-Oleum, available at most home improvement stores. Once the fixture is up, any nicks or things that we did while installing, we just touch it up in place, and there you go. Be sure to consult a qualified electrician for doing this, folks. This is a DMX fixture, weighs an awful lot. The light output of this is pretty much the same as this light. This is about $1,500. Like I mentioned, this is under $400. I don't want to install this. This also has to be programmed with RDM. So you need to have extra equipment and know what you're doing there. This is your standard DMX controls, up, down, 0 to 512. Again, recapping, it's got a Phoenix connector. Now this also has an XLR and a power supply. So you're doing a ceiling, let's say a tongue and groove ceiling, you have no way of wiring your DMX because your ceiling is your roof. It's all right. Wireless DMX module goes right into it. We did a church in South Florida, has been working flawlessly for almost a little over a year now. Bulletproof, very fast. Just cut down your old fixture, use the same chain, hang the new fixture, go wireless, plug it up, and you are done and operational.